Hello, welcome back. Welcome back into my channel. My name is Alex, and today we're gonna start episode number 11 of my Book of the Month Backlist Challenge. This should be one of the remaining 4 episodes because we have 20 books. I pick 5 every time. So yeah, I won't waste, nope, that's not what I wanted. I won't waste too much time with a crazy long intro because a lot of you are familiar with this channel. If you're not, I will put some of, or I'll put the playlist up on the screen here. But basically I started this out last year. I had like 70 Book of the Month books that I have been hoarding like a dragon, and I've been working on reading them. As you can see, there's less books on the shelves. I have actually unhauled, like taken out of my house, the Book of the Month books and others that I'm not bringing with me. But for those of you who aren't aware, I am moving back to the East Coast from Colorado. So that's why this is happening. But yeah, let's get this party started, and I will make sure I'm recording. I have made sure that the audio on the new mic is working because I recorded a whole vlog last week of spinner wheel picks how many hours a day I'm gonna read challenge, and my new microphone, I picked the wrong plug, didn't have audio, not a single clip. So we're recording. Yeah, okay. Please, I'm gonna give everything a good shuffle and we're just gonna spin and see what we get. I'm excited. I've got plenty of time to get this done. Chloe, my girl. All right, so our first book is These Violent Delights, which I'm pretty sure is book 1 of a duology or a trilogy. I don't know. You know me. All right, I never look. Shuffling again and spin. Come here. Dan just pushing her way in. Starling House. Alexi Harrow, Starling House. Yeah. Okay, great. Alexi Harrow, Starling House. Probably cozier than I'm gonna like, but you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. All right. A Greek mythology? This feels like a very, like, girl power month. I don't know why I'm getting that vibe. All right, 2 more, baby. I don't really care what I get. Okay, great. Because actually I would have cared if I got Babylonia, which I think is like another mythology retelling. So Devil Takes You Home, I believe, is a translated work. So I'm excited for that. All right, shuffle and last one. And a thriller. Which again, shocked. All right, so here are our choices. Great. All right, here we go. Here's the stack. I'm excited. Yeah, so The Devil Takes You Home is by somebody. This is the translation. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so there's also a book of translations because I believe there are quite a few sayings that remain in Spanish. Again, that is a translated work. I believe it's a horror. Indigenous horror of some sort. So here is the stack. I think I'm gonna start with Ariadne because I just haven't like read a mythology retelling in some time, and I would like to get back into those because that shelf that I'm pointing to very tippity top is all of my actual Greek mythologies and epics. I have the Odyssey and the Iliad up there I need to get to, like the original version, some other Greek mythology and other mythology retellings. But I think I'm gonna start with Ariadne and then maybe work my way to Starling House. I am feeling very confident that I will leave These Violent Delights for last because I think it is part of a series, and I loved Chloe Gong's. I love The Immortal Longings. I loved that beginning of that trilogy. So I anticipate I will want to pick up the next book in the series if it's out. I'm pretty sure it's a duology, like a Romeo. This is like a Romeo and Juliet retelling. Whatevs, I'm into it. So let's stay strong. When did I pick this one? May 2021. This takes place on the island of Crete. This is following Ariadne, who is the princess that gets shoved into the Minotaur's maze. And my family is actually from that island. I have been to Knossos, which is the palace where the Minotaur allegedly roamed. So sister, lover, traitor, hero. I've seen a lot of good things about this. It's really short. It's only 300 pages. I think we can knock this out pretty quickly. So I am going to start with Ariadne. This is by Jennifer Saint. And as always, I'll be back when I have an update.
One eternity later.
Well, if it isn't little old me. Hello, hi, wow. This isn't the intro. I started acting like it was the intro because I haven't filmed anything in so long, but it's been a number of days, weeks, months since I last updated my current book of the month vlog because we moved across the country. So I have made it to the fine state of Georgia, and the majority of my time has been spent trying to get my pharmacist license here, which was a huge headache, pain in the ass, but we got it done. And hopefully we'll have a job in the next couple of weeks so we can buy some more books. But in the meantime, I had to get back to a regularly scheduled programming, if you will. And let's do, this lighting is just not quite what I want it to be. That hurts, but it's fine. So I wanted to update before I start my next read. If we remember correctly, I will put up on the screen the 5 books that we have chosen, but I wanted to talk about the 2 that I did read. And complete transparency, it has been at least 2 months since I picked these books. So this challenge has just quite truly gotten away from, but we're back at it. So as you can see, I have some lighting here. I just put up one shelf. I want to wait. I am filming kind of like a very loose put together my library vlog. I did pretty bad filming it so far, but just, you know, even if it's a 10-minute long video, I don't really care. I just need to get back habit of filming myself, vlogging, whatevs. So the first book that I completed for the challenge is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint, and this is a very fun, very fast-paced retelling of the Greek mythology story of Ariadne. She is a princess of Crete, and her jam was she helped Theseus escape the labyrinth and kill the Minotaur, which is actually her messed up little brother. She escapes with Theseus as far as the traditional story will tell you, and ends up on the island of Naxos. We're gonna go from there. There is quite a bit in here that sticks true to the actual mythology, and I really liked that. And there was a lot of liberties taken, which I also thought was really fun. What I liked about this is my family is from the island of Crete, and our village is like 10 minutes from Knossos. I have been there multiple times. I'll put some pictures up here. It's incredible to see this real place that we read about in mythology and retellings. Obviously, I have my Greek mythology sleeve. I am Greek, like I love a good mythology retelling. This one was just okay for me. I have quite a few on my shelf that I need to get through. I liked that it was very quick, short, fast, and I actually hadn't really learned too much more, or like I didn't remember the story of Ariadne after the initial, you know, Theseus escaping with the Athenians out of the labyrinth. So I felt like I learned something too. I think I landed on 3 stars for this, which feels correct, and I am considering in the next year, perhaps 2026, canceling star ratings. I feel like that will get me nowhere on BookTube, but be a pioneer, I say, to me, and only to me. But this was a 3-star book. Not for any particular reason other than like I'm familiar with the mythology, and also it kind of dragged a little bit in the middle. Like we had some action at the beginning and then a lot of kind of like nothing and then a little bit more action at the end. And for a not even 300-page book, 277-page book, you know, 308-page book, I said that the pacing was good. It was, but it did drag a little bit in the middle, and I just don't know that this is one that I would pick up again or necessarily reread. Circe is still my #1 spot for a Greek mythology retelling. I do prefer it to Song of Achilles. I think it's better, but that's an unpopular opinion. But I did enjoy this and I would recommend it. And that's kind of why I am really considering getting rid of star ratings soon. Hopefully next year. I have to really think about how I'm gonna handle that, capacitate that, because it's such a habit to go on Goodreads and, you know, that like dopamine hit of clicking, yeah, I finished it, and then giving my star rating. So neither here nor there. For now, this is a 3-star book. I did very much enjoy it and I would recommend it. It's a 3-star that I would recommend. Ugh, I hate that. Great, awesome. The next one that I finished is Starling House by Alex Arrow. This is my first by her, and I'm super pumped that I read this for the challenge because I absolutely love her writing. It's so lyrical, it's so beautiful, but also funny. Like the humor in this was really good. Our main character, Opal is quite a badass bee, and I really liked that aspect of it, that she's a woman that's down on her luck. She's doing her best to help her brother, but she feels take care of her brother, I should say, because the mom has passed away from a car accident. The car went into the river, and Opal still holds a lot of guilt, like it was her fault. She didn't do enough to save her mom. And she's drawn inexplicably to what they refer to in this town as Starling house. It is very overrun shrubbery. It's not in great shape, and it seems like no one lives there, but there's always a light on, and she's always just been drawn to it, and that's where we kind of pick up with her story. I wanted more, honestly. I liked so much that I wanted it to be a little bit longer. This was another short one, and again, great pacing, great content, really. There was like little illustrations and drawings in here because we have read in the plot of a children's book that's like really effed up, which I also loved that. Like a very creepy type of, yeah, this is sick. That's spooky, kooky bananas. We have a thread in here of one of the original Starling inhabitants is an author, and she wrote this children's book that has these like horrific monsters. We come to find out that it's maybe not necessarily like completely in the imagination of the author. And I don't want to say, I feel like I'm getting to a point where I'm gonna start spoiling things, so I should shut up. But I really enjoyed this. I thought the characters were really great. There was development. Arthur, so moody, such like a knight in shining armor for Opal, even though she didn't need one. Like, she never needed someone to take care of her. And the fact that her and Arthur kind of have this connection over Starling House, that they end up, you know, helping each other and taking care of each other, it was just like so beautiful. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and this one was a 4-star. I have the art on my Kindle, or Alex E. Harrow's newest book, The Everlasting, which I think comes out in September, and I'm really excited to start that. So I wanted to get back on my YouTube shit so I could talk about this book. So maybe we can do like an arc reading, because I have some other arcs that I need to get to. But yeah, I love this. Definitely will read some more by her. I feel like she's maybe a little bit, like I always thought Alex was a little bit more cozy in what I'm into, but after reading this, I think I'll definitely give some of her previous book another chance. There's like Once and Future Witches, I think, kind of gives me cozier than I'm interested in, but I just love her writing. So we're gonna do The Everlasting, and then we'll start working on her backlog. Those are the two that I have actually finished. Pause. So the next book that I'm gonna pick up is The Devil Takes You Home. This is by Gabino Iglesias, and all I know is it's a translated horror. That's all I really need. It comes with this nifty little translation guide. I am gonna try to use my, oh wow, there's a lot of Spanish in this. I'm still gonna try. I used to be pretty, I would say like definitely not fluent in Spanish, but a lot better than I am now, and I really would like to get back to that. So I love this cover, colors, the title, it's all looking good. So this is another quick one. The other two that I have left are Something and Something. I already forgot. Sugar. I don't remember what the other two were, but this one is just the one that I want to read next. So that's what we're gonna do, and I'll check back in when I get this started. Happy to be back, friends. Wow. And definitely excited to finish setting up the library and showing you guys that, and just kind of like getting back into the swing of being almost 34-year-old that thinks she can fucking do stuff on the internet. So I'll TTYL. Hello. I feel like it's so much creepier when the library lights aren't on, but we're just gonna roll with it because I just turned them off and I'm super tired. It's time for bed. I've been trying to get in like a better sleep schedule, which neither here nor there. It's going mediocre at best, but it's like 10:45 right now and I'm sleepy, so I need to roll with that momentum. But I wanted to do a quick update on The Devil Takes You Home by Gabino Iglesias. This, boom, 50% in one sitting. This is so compulsive, so readable, so fast-paced. It is, very genre bending. So at its core, it's following our main character Mario, who the very beginning of the book experiences she heard me yapping and had to come see what was happening. He experiences a really traumatic event with his wife, and in kind of like the aftermath of dealing with his grief, he finds himself embroiled in a very sketchy situation. He's doing things that he never thought that he would do before, and it started in a place of wanting to take care of his family and provide for them, which has always been hard for him as a Puerto Rican immigrant. He is from Puerto Rico and his wife is also Hispanic, and they live in Texas, where they deal with a lot of racism and a lot of the issues that we are seeing presently and have seen forever and ever. This book has them, and it's infuriating. There was one quote in here that I do want to read real quick because it was just so succinctly put how I feel about like the horrible things that are going on with ICE and immigration in this country right now. Viewed from the border itself. Well, okay, I'm always so scatterbrained. Forgive me, I'm trying to get back into recording and I'm just like a space cadet. This book also comes with a translation guide because the author includes a lot of original Spanish language, which I absolutely love. I've been having a really good time trying to understand the Spanish without using the translation guide. I did minor in Spanish when I was an undergrad, but I've let it go. I definitely want to start practicing language again, but neither here nor there. Things on both sides of the river look more or less the same, and the streets of both sides are packed with brown and white faces. The same food, the same air, and the same Spanish and English words thrown back and forth. What happens in La Frontera is so problematic is shocking. La Frontera is the border. So we're talking about the border. Viewed from the border itself, the conflict is not between two countries. It's an argument between neighbors that occupy the same land but don't share the same privileges. And it's an argument often policed by people who don't even live anywhere near that neighborhood. And I'm just thinking of motherfucker McGee sitting in his white tower in DC, ruining the lives of millions of people, and for what? Because some people don't understand and we're not talking about that. This is what happens when I vlog late at night, I feel like. I am about 50%. I'm on page 162. Yeah, chapter 20. Also, another moment for this stunning Batwing bookmark my longtime best friend gave me for my birthday earlier this year, and this is the first time I'm using it. So I'm absolutely loving this. My jaw has dropped. There have been some really crazy scenes. There is a touch of clairvoyancy with Mario. He has these visions where he can kind of see bad things that are about to happen or spirits that other people cannot see. We have a couple of ancillary characters that he's traveling with. One of them is Brian. It's this white man that is addicted to meth. He has joined this little trio, and they are basically planning on robbing a truck full of money from the cartel, which is absolutely batshit insane. Like 3 people robbing an armored vehicle full of cash from the cartel. I can't think of anything more scary or dangerous, except there's this thread body horror, there is this thread of real life horror and racism, and just so many things are coming together really perfectly, I think, in this book. I am both surprised and not surprised that I'm enjoying it this much. I just knew from the cover and the title that this was gonna speak to me, and it is. So I just wanted to do a little update real quick to let y'all know. Loving this, definitely gonna finish tomorrow, and then we only have 2 more books on this book of the month challenge that has lasted 17 years is what it feels like, and we can move on. Well, you can't see because the lights are off. I have 15 more books left, and then we can move on to my next challenge, which is going to be a classic. Let's read all the unread books on my shelves and see what happens. But with that, night. I'll be back tomorrow. Probably will update when I finish the book and give my final thoughts. Night. Hi. Hello. I am back to update. It's the next day. What day are we? Doesn't matter. Monday. Happy Monday. August 25th. Yeah. Great. Wonderful. Good. Grand. So it's pretty late. Well, it's not late, but it's like 8:30. I didn't date at all today, but I did finish The Devil Takes You Home by Gabino Iglesias this morning, and I really enjoyed this. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It remained compulsive to read the entire time up until the very end, and all I want to say say really more about this because I don't want to, you know, I don't want to spoil anything. I feel like I gave a pretty good, decent summary. I feel like I gave a pretty decent summary on my initial update yesterday, but the end had me gasping. Like, this is a tragic book. It's devastating. It's very well written, really fast paced. I am definitely gonna take a look at some of Gabino's earlier works and add them to my TBR because this was really good. And again, if you have the book of the month version, it does come with translation guide, and I just thought including the Spanish language in this book really kept our characters true to themselves and true to, you know, these are Hispanic individuals that are struggling, even though they're educated, they're bilingual, they went to college, they still struggle with the same racism. I think by keeping the Spanish language as it was in this, with the translations, really let the environment and the characters develop the way that they were supposed to. I was picturing dry, arid Texas. We're going into cartel land in Mexico. It just really added to the atmosphere of this. And one of the big themes in this is obviously racism. I think I talked about that a little bit on my first update, but it remained true and haunting and just really angering throughout the entirety of the book. And then it just ended in a way that I did not expect and kind of had me gasping for air. So this was really good. I'm definitely going to keep this on my shelves, and I'm super glad I finally got to it. This one is in August 2022. So this has been on my shelf for exactly 3 years, and we got it read, and it's gonna stay because I love this cover. I think having the colors be reminiscent of the Mexican flag, because we're dealing with the Mexican cartel in this, it all works. The supernatural elements, the clairvoyance elements, the religion elements, all of it. It just worked really, really well. So, and it's 305 pages. This is a quick read. Borrow it from your library, pick it up. I highly recommend. So that's that update. We're definitely keeping that. I have 2 books left for this challenge. I have You're Invited by Amanda J. Atisa, and I have These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I know that I'm going to keep These Violent Delights as the last one because I love Chloe Gong. I read Immortal Longings and then also Vilest Things, which is book 2. Immortal Longings was part of one of these Book of the Month challenges, and then I liked it so much that I picked up book 2 on my own. I'm very desperate for book 3, and I believe this is a completed duology, so I'm going to keep this for last because I just really think I'm gonna like it and I'm gonna want to read the next book. I do believe this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and I'm into that. So, and I think Chloe Gong is a spectacular writer. This is, I don't know, it's a thriller. This is July 2022. So this one is going to be, this is 3 years on my shelves as well. What do we have here? What could be worse than your ex-boyfriend marrying your childhood best friend, getting accused of her murder? I'd murder that bitch too, but all right. I just am so uninterested in thrillers, especially domestic ones. Like, I don't care. They all kind of read the same to me, but I'm gonna pick this one up next. I don't think I'm gonna start it tonight because I'm reading a few other things that I'd like to finish for my personal enjoyment, and also another vlog that I'm hopefully gonna start filming. I meant to do it earlier today, but here we are at almost 9 p.m. and I'm gonna start a vlog. I'll probably start this one tomorrow. I have a job interview. I still don't have a job here in Georgia, which is, it's been nice. It's been nice having a little break from working, but I would like money again so I can buy books and stuff for the new library. So I have an interview tomorrow at 11:15. I plan on finishing a read, I think at least tonight, and then we'll probably start You're Invited tomorrow. So 3 books down, 2 more to go. I'm hoping to finish out this challenge this week since it's taken me like the entire summer to do it with the move and everything. And then we only have 15 more books, which I'm strongly considering just like reading all of them in the month of September maybe, or October, to just bang it out, because I can read 15 books in a month. That's not that big of a deal to me, but I also don't know what job things are coming my way and what other things I might have going on. So that's that. I am going to sign off on this update vlog for tonight, and I will be back tomorrow when we start You're Invited. So it is a few days later, but I did, let's just jump right in, okay? I did start You're Invited by Amanda Jayatisi, and we're flying. We're moving, we're grooving. I very briefly considered DNFing this at the beginning. Just the sentence structure was very simple, and the main character was immediately annoying from the get-go, but I powered through because I don't have a problem just like in regular reading times, if you will. DNFing a book, I try not to DNF the book of the month, like the challenge ones, because I just think it's fun to actually complete, you know, I've had these on my shelves for so long, as you guys know, and I just think it's fun to actually read these books that I have been paying for over the years. And moved down across the country, moved across the country, Colorado, just moved across the country again. So these books have been through it. As we said before, this is from July 2022. So this is another 3-year-old book, but I am a little more than halfway. I crushed 202 pages this morning. This is like deceptively long, 370 something, 375-ish. Usually thrillers I feel like are around the 300 page mark. So this one is a little bit longer, but it's very readable. It's fast paced, but it is slow burn as far as thrillers go. I do enjoy the setting that we're in, and we're getting a little representation of a country that I'm not super familiar with. So let me tell you what this is about. This is following our main character, Amaya Bloom, who is from Sri Lanka, which is an island country off of the coast of India. And she now lives in LA, and she stalks her ex-best friend Kavi when she finds an Instagram post that Kavi is now engaged to Amaya's ex-boyfriend Spencer. And there's definitely been some like red herrings and or flashback type things that are showing us that something happened between Amaya and Spencer and Kavi that I still don't know what it is, but something big happened and Spencer broke up with her. I don't know if it's like an SA situation or who could be too sure. I do have a feeling that the guy is going to be the issue in this versus like the girls and their fractured relationship. But again, very slow burn, a lot of red herrings being thrown at us because there are, at the end of every chapter, there is the investigation portion going on because Amaya is now at the wedding in Sri Lanka and something has happened to Kavi. Amaya is obviously under some suspicion because she was kind of like ousted from Kavi's world and her family 5 years ago when Spencer broke up with her, but something else has happened too. They keep referring to an incident like that happened the last time that Amaya was actually in Sri Lanka. She still has her family home there. And speaking of her family, there is some drama there. Her mother passed away from seemingly, I believe it's cancer, quite some time ago when she was younger, I think like a preteen, maybe 10 or 11. And then her father before the mom passed away, her father dipped out and like it's being revealed that they don't have a great relationship. He kind of jumped ship and has a new family. So Amaya has been through it, needless to say, and it's definitely taken a toll on her mental health. She refers a lot to her therapist, and she doesn't quite connect with her new friends in LA the way that she did with Kavi and with Spencer. So I'm interested to see how this is going to end. The little snippets at the end of the chapters are the like transcripts of the investigator interviewing the people that were at the wedding to try to figure out, as you can see here, yeah, like this is an example. So we have like a regular chapter, and then at the end we get these little transcripts, and of course they all kind of end on like a little cliffhanger, like, I heard you say that you wanted to kill her. So it's not giving me anything new. That I will say, although I am now enjoying it and I do plan to finish it probably in the next sitting now, I did want to like come update. I started it, I don't know, a couple hours ago. We're just watching Saturday football, first college game day, Ohio and Texas. I prefer Texas to win, but Ohio is winning currently. So I am just vibing today. We're watching football, we're just relaxing, and I'm reading. So I will definitely probably just wrap this up in the next sitting. I can do 170 something pages in another couple of hours. So I will be back probably to update my final thoughts when I finish. But again, I'm not disliking it. I'm just so done with thrillers, especially domestic thrillers. I don't think, hey baby, I don't think that this is bringing anything new to the genre, except I do enjoy that it's taking place in a country that I'm not super familiar with. It's like this beautiful lush landscape and this ritzy beach resort. Everyone's dripping with Louis Vuitton and gold. And I'm learning a lot actually about Sri Lankan culture, so I am appreciating it for that. I just don't see this being anything more than 3 stars. Like, I'm pretty sure I know what's gonna happen, who's at fault. It is what it is, and it was what it was. So that's my update. I will be back probably in a couple of hours to wrap up my thoughts on this book, and then we can move on to These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. Hello, I have indeed finished You're Invited by Mana J. Tisa, and this was enjoyable, but it's a 3-star. It's gonna be a 3-star for me, dog. I feel like I've said it a million times, especially during these Book of the Month challenges, because I still had so many thrillers left. I think I only have maybe like 1 or 2. I think there's a Gillian McAllister that I got by accident from Book of the Month, and then there's a Simone St. James, which I actually really like her book, so I'm pumped for that one. But other than that, if I don't read a fucking thriller ever again in my life, I'll be totally happy. There, again, is nothing wrong with this one. The red herrings were pretty obvious. There were quite a few of them, and honestly, I wasn't super surprised by the ending. The motivations of the characters were just so one note. You know, these people are all filthy rich, and it's always just still about money in the end. So it was fine though, and again, I really did enjoy having it be set in a culture that I'm not super familiar with. There was the actual language that they use in Sri Lanka, you know, with translations in here. I think it's oh, I already forgot. I'll do better next time and no, but like Sayuan or something like that. Sayan, Sinea. I'll put it up on the screen because I'm being ignorant. Being ignorant, blanket. Yeah, I mean, I crushed it. It's very readable. Would I recommend this? Yes. If you like thrillers, I think you would enjoy this. It's very fast paced. There are a few twists and turns from 50% to the end, but for me, it was just fine. 3 stars. I'm probably gonna unhaul this one, and I'm glad that I got it done in one day. I do enjoy, you know, just crushing a book in 1 or 2 sittings. So we're almost there. I am very excited though, because the last book that we have for this episode of the, oh my god, 2020, of the Book of the Month challenge is These Violent Delights. Like, in my head, this came out last year, because time is a construct, especially in my brain. So These Violent Delights is by Chloe Gong. This is a completed duology, I believe, and it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling. I absolutely love Chloe Gong's Foul and Fortune, like the fame Foul and Fortune. I'm being ridiculous now. It's Immortal Longings is book 1, Vilest Things is book 2. It is going to be a trilogy, and the expected publishing date for book 3 is November. So I'm really excited to finish out that trilogy this year. I really enjoy it. I have a special edition from Fairy Loot on my shelf, which I realized that I had when I was moving this time, and I honestly don't foresee me not loving this one. I really like Chloe Gong's writing, and this cover, so pretty. I love this cover so much, and I'm a sucker for a Shakespeare retelling. So, oh, also the other series, starting with Immortal Longings, is an Antony and Cleopatra retelling. So I like a good retelling. I'm not as familiar with Cleopatra and Mark Antony as I am Romeo and Juliet, so hopefully I'll pick up on this one a little bit more. But I'm sure there's going to be a really cool magic system. It looks like we have a little gang war situation, which makes sense. Capulets and the Montagues, if you will. We have the Scarlet Gang and the White Flowers. Red and white, blood on a white flower. I love that. Yeah, so I will be starting this one. I think I'm gonna wait and start it tomorrow, August 31st. And actually, I have an event. I have a social event tomorrow, so I don't know. There's another book that I want to start today, because I'm also starting a couple more vlogs today. One of them being a weekly reading vlog where I try to read all of my current library books that I have checked out, because there's like 10 of them, and I have a sci-fi pulled out that I'm really interested in starting. So I'll probably start that, and then honestly I might try and get into this later tonight, and then you know, just work on it throughout the rest of the week. I will probably film what we're doing tomorrow for the library reading vlog, but we are going to a wing fest in Knoxville, Tennessee. I love a good chicken wing. We bought tickets. You like walk around and get wings from all sorts of different vendors, and spicier the better for me. So that should be fun. I'm going with my husband and my sister-in-law and her boyfriend, so that should be super fun. We'll probably like bop around Knoxville. If we end up at a bookstore, we end up at a bookstore. Who am I to judge what I do? Certainly not me judging me. But yeah, so I am very excited to start this, and I will check back in on this vlog when I do. Howdy, here to update. So I am about 55% into these Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, and I am absolutely loving this. I have only read Immortal Longings and Vilest Things, which is book 2 in, I think it's like Flesh and Fallen Gods trilogy by Chloe Gong, and I really, really liked it. So I'm not surprised that I'm enjoying this so much, but I am surprised how fast I'm able to read it. Like, it's very bingeable. The world building is, I think, just enough for what it is. Like, it's not really a fantasy because there's not magic per se, but there is a monster element to this, and I'm really excited to see where that goes. The Romeo and Juliet retelling is a little bit on the nose as far as the names go. Our main characters' names are Juliet and Roma. Juliet is born and raised, well, she's born in China, and she was sent off to America when she was young and is recently back because of the gang warfare and like the lack of safety. So her parents sent her to America, but now she's back and she is the heir of the Scarlet Gang, and she has some romantic history with Roma, who is the Montagov heir, and they are Russian. So this has a lot of themes that I think are a lot more intense than what I was expecting. Not intense per se, but there is a huge discussion about language. There's a huge discussion about colonialism because we're in 1920s China, we're in Shanghai, and the British are there, the French are there, the Americans are there. There's a lot of there was one line, I should have highlighted it, but it was like, there's no one more dangerous than a white man who thinks he's being threatened or who thinks he's losing his power. And I was like, damn, don't we know it? So I wanted to update before I finish it because I do think I'm going to sit down and just finish this so we can close out this vlog and we can move on to the next book of the month challenge. But I am just absolutely loving this. I think Chloe Gong, I've seen like her books, I think on Goodreads and whatever. I'm surprised that they don't have higher average ratings. I think she's an amazing writer, and I already borrowed book 2, which is Our Violent Ends, and I think she has another duology, maybe Lady Fortune's Fortune of the Soul. I don't know, something like that. I'm definitely going to be adding that to my TBR. So yeah, we have about 200 pages left, and I think I'm just going to sit down and continue reading this, finish it up, drink the rest of my coffee, and then we'll come back and we'll close out the vlog. Alright, so back for the final update. I did finish these Violent Delights by Chloe Gong yesterday, and I loved this. I ended up giving it a 4-star. I thought it was really well written. It did drag a little bit in the middle, but honestly, when you have as much, it's not world building because this isn't a fantasy. I would say it's more like magical realism, if anything, because of like, well, no, not even magical realism, maybe more sci-fi because of the way the monster element plays out. And I don't really want to get too much into it because I feel like I have trouble distinguishing between what I think is a spoiler and what you guys think is a spoiler. So I'm going to do better about that. But I really liked this. So I don't know if I talk really about what it is, but it's essentially, it's touted as a Romeo and Juliet retelling. I would say that it has a couple of lines, references, Easter eggs, the names, but other than that, it's more of a historical sci-fi-ish kind of read. So our setting is 1920s Shanghai. The setting is, I think, the best part of this. It's really easy to picture all of the locales, the river, the different areas of downtowns, the brothels and all that kind of stuff. We have 2 gangs that are constantly at war with each other. We have the Scarlet Gang and then we have the White Flowers. The White Flowers are Russian and the Scarlet Gang is from China. We also have a huge thread of colonialism because during this time we have occupation by French, we have occupation by the French, the British, the United States, and there is quite a discussion of China not being recognized as its own country anymore. And the gangs, especially the Scarlet Gang, because they are the Chinese Chinese gang are really at war with the communist and nationalist parties as well, who are Chinese political parties, but the Scarlet Gang just like wants to be the cream of the crop. So there is a lot to unpack in this book as far as real history, and I think it was done in a way that it adds to the story and doesn't really detract from it. One of the things that I did have a bit of an issue with is I didn't quite believe in the romance. I didn't think there was enough backstory. I think we needed some like more fleshed out flashbacks and kind of more, I just needed more between Julia and Roma, but it was a little insta-lovey when it shouldn't have been because they were previously lovers, but like I didn't buy into it. But honestly, like the setting and the vibes, like she always dresses like a flapper girl and does finger waves because she feels that she's too Western for China now. So I already started book 2, Our Violent Ends, on my Kindle. I will probably finish that up in the next couple of days. This is a completed duology. I really like that Chloe Gong has a couple completed duologies out. The other one is Our Lady Fortune, I think is book 1. And I think Mel from Mel's Reads read it and really liked it. So I'm really excited to finish up this duology, and I will definitely be keeping this one. So let's start at the beginning. The first one, well, let me put them in order real quick. Hold on. Okay. The first one that I read for this episode of the Book of the Month Challenge was Ariadne. This is by Jennifer Saint, and I really enjoyed this one. It takes place in Crete, where in the village of Knossos in the ancient civilization. I thought that was just a really fun Greek mythology retelling to dive into. It's short, it's sweet, really enjoyed it, so I am going to be keeping this one. The next one that I read is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. Love her. She's one of my new favorite authors. I got an arc of her newest release, which is coming out I think the end of September or the beginning of October. It's called The Everlasting, and it made me sob like a baby. So loved that. Definitely going to be keeping this one because the cover is a stunner. Next one I read is The Devil Takes You Home. This is by Gabino Iglesias. I also really enjoyed this one. Definitely going to be keeping it on the shelves. I love whenever I can support a BIPOC author, a translated work. My edition, because it was Book of the Month, did come with a translation guide, so that was really, I think there is a theme between these Violent Delights and The Devil Takes You Home, actually, and even You're Invited, that we have a thread of language and not just like putting everything in English when it adds to the story, to keep it in its original language. So loved that. You're Invited by Amanda Jayatisa. I really enjoyed this one because it was taking place in Sri Lanka. It was a thriller. It was a domestic thriller, and it was a little meh for me. I still enjoyed it. I read it in one sitting, but I am probably going to unhaul this one at some point. It's just because I'm not gonna pick up a thriller again. I could reread any of these or want to recommend them to a friend, but thrillers are just not my preferred genre anymore. So I'd rather give it away to someone that is gonna get some enjoyment out of it. And then of course, last one is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. Just said I'm gonna keep it because it slapped. So with that, thank you for being part of this challenge. It took only like 3 to 4 months, but I'm back. Struck's back and it's better than ever. Da, 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 da. Alex is here. So thank you so much for bearing with me, for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do so, because I have a lot of fun videos planned, and I have read quite a few books this year that I would love to talk more about, and I have more reading planned. So with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next challenge. Okay, bye.